Hi, everyone, and welcome to Wellbeing Live, hosted by the Mental Health Center of Denver and presented by our presenting sponsor, Cigna. Wellbeing Live is a series of short classes, talks, workshops brought to you to help you work on your well-being and the well-being of people around you. Each week, we bring you topics from nutrition to exercise to compassion fatigue and meditation, all related to well-being. Today, we are very excited to be joined by Jessica Vogle, who will talk to us about abs diet power. And I'm looking forward to learning about what that means, and I know that all of you are too. Before we get going, just a reminder that if you have questions for our presenter throughout the event, please post those in the Q&A, and we'll invite our presenter, Jessica, to respond to them at the end. And so with that, I'll invite Jessica to begin her presentation. Welcome.
Hi, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Jessica Vogle, and I am a certified health education specialist who works in our primary care clinic here at the Mental Health Center of Denver. My role as a health educator is to take health information and present it in a way for people to make better decisions and choices to improve their overall health and well-being. So I just want to be clear that I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a a registered dietitian. I'm a health educator. So just to kind of be clear about that. Today I'm going to talk to you about our abs diet power. And it's an acronym for 12 foods that help fight visceral fat, which is the fat that we carry around our waistline. Visceral fat is commonly known as belly fat, and it's found within your abdominal cavity. It wraps around your internal organs, and it's different than other types of fat that we carry in other parts of our body, and it burns differently too. And carrying too much visceral fat can lead to serious health problems, and studies have shown that an excess of visceral fat is linked to a higher risk of type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, heart disease, and even certain cancers. So by incorporating 2 to 3 of these nutrient power-packed foods into your daily diet, and diet, everybody has a diet. A diet is just what we eat. And combining that with regular physical activity, you can help improve your health and reduce your risk of chronic disease. I want to add that by incorporating these foods into your diet, you're not going to get a six-pack or rock-hard abs. It's a better way of improving your health and maybe reducing your waistline as well. So with that, why don't we get started and look at the foods. So we can move to the next slide. So these 12 foods, they spell out abs diet power. They're not in any specific order of their benefits of nutrients or how much you should consume. It's just the acronym and to spell out abs diet power. So starting with the letter A, A stands for almonds and other nuts. Almonds are a great source of vitamin E, and vitamin E is a potent antioxidant that can help prevent free radicals that can be damaging after heavy workouts. Almonds can add for a quick, great snack. Just a handful is really all that's needed, or just mixed nuts in general. They're high in protein and high in the good fats that we need in our body. So moving on to letter B, which stands for beans and other legumes. Legumes are peas, chickpeas, lentils. These are low in fat and packed with protein and fiber and iron. These nutrients are crucial for muscle building and losing weight. By replacing maybe a meat-heavy dish with a bean-heavy dish a couple times a week, you can reduce the fat and increase fiber. So I always like to say, go with a meatless Monday and make a black bean burger or something. But it can be a really great way to kind of fill up without all the fat and getting all those nutrients that are needed. So moving on to letter S, which stands for spinach and other veggies. I think we all know that we're supposed to eat our veggies, and so this just kind of gives you a reason why we should eat our veggies. These foods are packed with high nutrients, vitamins A, C, and K, folate, beta-carotene, minerals including calcium and magnesium, fiber, and antioxidants. They're high in fiber, insoluble fiber, and low in calories. A great way to get veggies into your diet. It doesn't just have to be a salad all the time. You can, jazz up your salad with lots of different colors of different vegetables. You can add spinach to a smoothie or an omelet in the morning or at night. But a lot of different ways to get vegetables instead of just, steaming them and eating them. The next letter is D, which stands for dairy. We want to make sure that we're choosing low-fat or non-fat dairy choices. And dairy gets a lot of representation for strengthening our bones, but it also can help us shed those pounds as well. Dairy is high in protein, high in calcium. Choosing low-fat yogurt, cheeses, and other dairy products can play a key role in your diet. Of course, if there is any type of allergy, and not just with dairy, but any of these foods, you know your body best. So it's making those choices that, if there is an allergy, intolerance, or sensitivity, to stay away from some of those foods. Moving on to the letter I. I think I was included to add the instant in oatmeal, but oatmeal in general is just a really great snack and meal to have. It contains soluble fiber, which means that it attracts the fluid and stays in your stomach longer than insoluble fiber. It makes you feel more full sooner and a little bit longer. Soluble fiber is thought to reduce blood cholesterol by binding the digestive acids made from cholesterol and sending them out into your body. So a really great heart-healthy food. It's a really great snack to have too, little the instant packets that you can add some water, maybe, when you're hitting that afternoon low, just being mindful of some of the added flavors that can be in instant oatmeal, some of the maples or sugars. It just adds a little bit of added sugar, which we always want to try and reduce in our bodies. The next letter is E, which stands for eggs. And eggs are kind of tricky because I think for a long time they've gotten this reputation of not being good because they are high in cholesterol. And recent studies have shown that while they do have higher cholesterol than some other foods, having an egg a day is still going to benefit your health and not raise the cholesterol levels as it has been thought to in the past. The protein in eggs is more effective at muscle building than protein from other sources, even milk or beef. Eggs also contain B12, which is necessary for fat breakdown. So we're kind of talking a lot about fat. We need fat in our body. We just want to make sure that we're getting those healthy fats. And so if cholesterol is a concern, by removing the yolk, you're removing a lot of that fat, a lot of that cholesterol. and you can just have the whites. You can buy whites in the grocery store that come in a carton, and the whites provide just as much protein as the whole egg. The next letter is T for turkey and other lean meats. This is a classic muscle building nutrient. Turkey breast is one of the leanest meats you'll find, so yay for Thanksgiving, right? It's packed nearly 1/3 of your daily requirements of niacin and vitamin B6. Dark meat, if you prefer it, has lots of zinc and iron. Chicken as well. A chicken breast along with a turkey breast, again, is just a very lean meat. By removing the skin from these meats, you're going to be reducing the fat. So it's always a good idea just to go skinless on these meats. The next letter is P for peanut butter. Peanut butter it's definitely high in calories, but it's also packed with the heart-healthy monounsaturated fats that help your muscles grow and your fat melt. So again, we talked about, we need fat in our bodies. We just want the good fats. And peanut butter can offer a good source of that good fat. It's high in protein. It can be added to so many different things. You can add it to celery, put little raisins on top, like your kindergarten basics, and have ants on a log. Peanut butter and crackers, peanut butter and apples. Some people add peanut butter to their smoothies. Some people just eat it out of the jar. So however you like to have it, it's a really great source of protein that also has those heart-healthy fats. Again, a peanut allergy is very common. So if this is something that you do have, there are alternative butters such as sun butter, which is made from sunflower seeds, that offers a lot of the same benefits that peanut butter has. The next letter is O for olive oil. And again, this is another healthy fat, a monounsaturated fat that prevents muscle breakdown, which can decrease muscle wasting and weakness. So we want to break down fat. We don't want to break down our muscles. Olive oil is also great for lowering cholesterol and reducing the risk of heart disease. You can use olive oil in your cooking. A lot of spreads these days are made from an olive oil base. So butter that's made from olive oil or mayonnaise just offers kind of another alternative to some of those spreads. The next letter is W, which is whole grains. And the significance here is the whole part. So we often crave carbohydrates. It's because our body needs them. Carbohydrates kind of get this bad rap that, we want no carb, low carb, everything, but we still need carbs in our body. We just want to make sure that we're choosing the right ones. Carbs that have been the least processed, again, going back to that word whole. So when you look at the whole grain, you're looking at in the refining process, that grain is broken down. And so you're not really getting the benefits of that grain in a lot of the processed white breads, pastas, rice, things like that. So choosing whole wheat pasta or whole grain bread, or brown rice or whole grain rice, you're getting that whole grain of it, which is great for, again, another heart healthy fiber to have in our bodies. The next letter is E, which is extra protein, or commonly known as whey. Whey protein is a high-quality protein that contains essential amino acids that build muscle and burn fat. It's especially effective because it's the highest amount of protein for the fewest number of calories. So it's kind of like the fat's kryptonite. There's so many different varieties of whey. It comes in a powder form, and you can add it to really any kind of food that you're making, or again, add it to smoothies. There's a lot of different options. It can be kind of overwhelming, that it's kind of finding what fits for you. But that extra protein, in general, protein helps build muscle, and muscle helps burn fat. So if it's not whey, high amounts of protein in your diet can be beneficial. And then the last letter is raspberries or other berries. So this includes strawberries, blueberries, boysenberry, blackberries, all the berries out there, and cherries. Berries carry high levels of antioxidants, which help fight heart disease and cancer in the body. They contain a lot of flavonoids that also help with your eyesight, balance, coordination, and short-term memory. So a lot of benefits from berries. Another thing that berries are really good for is inflammation and reducing inflammation in the body. So any arthritic problems that you may incur, or just sore joints, berries, the flavonoids in berries really help with that, decreasing that inflammation. And 1 cup of raspberries packs 6 grams of fiber and more than half of your daily requirement of vitamin. So you can add them, again, to smoothies, or add them to plain yogurt that just gives it a little bit more taste and flavor, or infusing water with berries to give your water just a little bit more taste as well, or just eating them plain. They're great. So that spells out ABS Diet Power. And again, I want to stress that these foods, incorporating these foods, you don't have to have every food for every meal of the day, but incorporating 2 to 3 of these foods within your diet every day can just help improve your overall health and reduce your risk for certain diseases, chronic illness, and even some cancers as well. So that pretty much concludes our presentation, and it looks to have some time for some Q&As, some questions that we have. So let's see here. One of the questions we have is buying dried bags of beans or canned beans better? It's a really great question. I think buying either or you're going to get the benefits of them. Dried beans, obviously, you have to let them soak, so it's a little bit more of a process. But canned beans definitely offer quick, easy access to the food, and can be used in so many different things. It's just always a good idea to drain and rinse the beans, so it decreases the sodium preservatives that are in the can, and the liquid. So another question we have, what are some good dairy alternatives for people who are lactose intolerant? Great question. And I think I mentioned a little bit of this throughout the presentation. Soy offers a really great alternative for those that have, lactose intolerant or any type of dairy sensitivity. There's soy cheeses and yogurts, ice cream, a lot of different soy milk, some flavored, some not. And so, in your grocery store, you could probably always find a section that has dairy-free foods. Nut milks also can offer a great alternative, such as almond milk or cashew milk. Almond milk is something that I put in my smoothies just to kind of give it a little extra flavor to it. That's a great question, though. Another question, are there specific whey protein brands you enjoy? How do I know which ones are best for me? This is a really great question. And as I mentioned, there's so many brands and focuses of whey protein that it could be really overwhelming going in and looking at all of them. Some protein powders or whey protein powders focus on weight gain, and some focus on weight loss. So building those muscles or, again, working on weight loss. So really kind of determining what your focus is of if you want to bulk up and use it as more of a muscle builder and a weight gainer, than weight loss. And then going to any local health food store, a Sprouts, Whole Foods, Natural Grocers, or a GNC, even local grocery stores have them, and just kind of trying them out. It's all kind of with trial and error. Some are flavored, chocolate or vanilla or strawberry. Some have no flavor, and so a lot of times they can be offered in like a single size packet. And it's a great way to just try different brands and just really kind of see what you like. And then let's see. What are some of your favorite meals that fit this diet? Great question. As I mentioned before, it's not so much about making a whole meal out of one thing, but just incorporating some of these foods into your diet. I love to make smoothies. I think I mentioned smoothie in almost every food mentioned. And with smoothies, you can really add a lot of these foods into a smoothie with a yogurt base. So you're getting the dairy. I add a little bit of almond milk to give it a little liquid and get that nut in there. Veggies, fruits, a lot of berries, whey protein powder, a lot of things that you can add into a smoothie. I try and add vegetables into a lot of the things that I cook as well. So adding spinach to pasta sauces or an omelet. I love eggs. Eggs alone can be a meal, but adding a hard-boiled egg to a salad or beans on top of a salad. So there's lots of different variations that you can add a lot of these different foods. But my absolute favorite would have to be a whole wheat pizza crust with fresh mozzarella cheese, a little bit of olive oil, and all the veggies that you can imagine. Because pizza just makes me happy, and so I like to think of it as a healthy food too. So, and it looks like we have one more question. Where can I find more healthy diet resources? Great question. Nutrition.gov is a great resource that provides a lot of information and resources. It's also a very reliable and credible site to go to. You can find some different recipes, but it's also the site that determines our daily percent values and daily recommended serving sizes. So they're really putting out a lot of diet and nutrition education and resources. Another great site is the American Heart Association and American Diabetes Association. Both of those sites are targeted more towards heart disease and diabetes, and they offer nutritional information a lot of education, and just a great site to, again, improving our overall health. And with the American Diabetes Association, that kind of leads us to our next week's presentation, which will be on diabetes by a certified diabetic educator. So it's another great source of getting some of that nutritional education. That looks like all the questions that we have. So I just want to thank you for taking the time to listen in, and I hope that you walk away having learned something, and you're making your grocery list and heading to the store and starting to buy some of these foods to incorporate in your diet to make better choices and reduce your risk of chronic illness and improve your overall health and well-being. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Jessica. That was great. I really appreciate many things, one of which is that you offered specific examples of the different foods that you were talking about. That was really helpful. And I think I might go check my pantry right after this, just to see how I'm doing. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Make sure you go to our webpage. It's Wellbeing Live. We'll post a link in the chat. And you can see a recording of this event. You can share it with your friends and family, post it on social media, and also sign up for updates for future events. And as Jessica mentioned, next week we'll be hearing about healthy eating and diabetes management. And that'll be a really great presentation. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.